She's got one. Tigers are generally said to succeed just 1 time out of 10, but this tigress kills on average every 3rd try. She needs to be good. Her cubs have already got huge appetites, and by the time they leave her, they will weigh 8 times as much. Even at this size, each cub consumes around 2 kilos of meat at a single sitting. The camera elephants take a bath every day. They work for 5 hours at a stretch, and then the rest of the day is their own. In the sweltering summer, this daily ritual brings much-needed relief from the heat. The cubs also like a cooling dip. But the pool by the den is not large, and when their mother joins in, things can get a little crowded. In spite of the heat, summer is a good time of year for some of the forest animals. These are among the rarest, sloth bears. They only venture out during the day in the most secluded places, but Spycam was there to record them. They're feasting on fallen fruit. Wild boar are also partial to fruit. Most animals fear sloth bears, but not, apparently, wild boar. At least, not when there's food around. Although there is plenty for all, it's sometimes necessary for the bears to show who is boss. The bear cubs are working out where they stand in the pecking order. They're aggressive creatures by nature and will face down even the biggest predators, but they must show no fear. Even so, for the youngsters, things sometimes get just too much, and it's time to retreat. The tigers have moved from their small and shrinking bathtub to a more commodious bathing pool, a reservoir built by the local people that provides them with water throughout the year. It's a great place to cool down. The samba deer are feeling the heat too. The wild boar also enjoy a mud bath, and combining a wallow with a meal just doubles the pleasure. Mud bathing is clearly enjoyable, but it also helps an animal to get rid of ticks and other skin parasites. The tigress hasn't yet found the perfect spot. The Cubs opt for shade. Tigers are one of the few cats that actually enjoy swimming, and they usually pick den sites close to water. As they travel around their territories during the summer, they move as quickly as possible through the drier parts to get to the hunting grounds that have good bathing pools. As June comes to an end, the heat becomes really hard to bear. Midday temperatures can reach 45 degrees in the shade. But after a bathe, the water evaporating from the fur cools the body and brings enough relief for the animal to snooze. When the monsoon finally arrives, it's not a moment too soon. As well as bringing a welcome drop in temperature, the rains replenish the park's dams and pools. There is greenery everywhere. The giant 2-meter webs of golden orb spiders hang between the trees. These are the biggest spiders' webs in the world. Their silken guy ropes sometimes stretch across 6-meter gaps. The elephants are bound to barge through them. The spiders themselves have a span as wide as a human hand, but they are of no consequence to an elephant. Their web is strong enough to catch a small bird, but the spiders in fact feed only on insects. The cubs are just over a year old, and they have an appetite to match their size. But there has been a significant change in their behaviour. Their play now includes mock hunting, with mother serving as a target. This is stylized fighting. It looks dangerously aggressive, but the cubs keep their claws fully sheathed throughout. Mother never takes part in their fighting games, but indulgently tolerates the cubs' boisterous behaviour. They spend a lot of time travelling. 5 nearly full-sized tigers on the move together is a rare sight indeed. They are a formidable force. Nothing stays around to challenge them. Even though it's now cooler, they still bathe at the hottest part of the day. Water is difficult to resist. The cubs take no notice whatever of the elephants, so it's possible to get really intimate shots from the camera held in the trunk. Progress through the forest is slow, because they linger at almost every pool or stream. They're not alone in relishing the abundance of water. The langur monkeys of their babies seem to have not a care in the world. But for some babies, drinking isn't the most comfortable of times. Unlike macaques, langurs are the friends of spotted deer. They share the task of keeping a lookout for their greatest enemy. The time has come for the tigress to make a determined hunt. One of her cubs decides to go with her to get some personal tuition. The rest prefer to take it easy. They're now starting to behave as individuals, each making its own decisions about what it should do. The tigress doesn't need to look far for a meal. She's in one of the most productive parts of her territory. She hasn't been here for some time, so she has more chance of catching her prey off guard. The lush undergrowth gives her plenty of cover. Her prey seem quite unconcerned, but not for long. The cub has still to learn that this sort of behaviour is not what is needed when mother is trying to hunt. The langur sends a warning far and wide. But still the cub doesn't calm down. The cub is now testing his mother's patience to the limit. She warns him that enough is enough. The rest of the cubs are content to wait until she's caught something. That shows just how well fed they are. Her prey soon relax. The pools are beginning to dry.